Hello, I'm Anush. Welcome to the Medz Mamas. Today, I'm very happy to share with you Sona, who will be sharing her Medz Mama Anahit Melkonyan. So, what is your first memory of your Medz Mama?
My first memory of my Medz Mama is from when I lived with her in the Malishka mountains. Malishka is in Vyazdo region in Armenia.
And describe some special moments you shared with your Medz Mama.
She always tells this story. When I was very little and I lived with my grandparents, I messed up something while they were asleep, and they woke up to my voice as I was talking to myself. Sona will clean up, Sona will clean up.
And where is your Medz Mama's family from? And do you know any stories she shared about her parents and grandparents?
Yeah. They are from Hoi. Her parents are from a working class family. Her mother's name was Seda, but they used to call her by her name, Seda. And her father's name was Ashot. He had 6 sisters and 1 brother. But she spent most of her childhood with her grandparents. They used to call their grandmother Astrid a Maman or a Medz Mama, and grandfather Apo. Maman and Apo. Apo was a respected person in the whole village. And she said that many of her memories are connected with her Medz Mama and Medz Apo. And remember that grandfather always took her to Jermuk city. Jermuk is in Vyazdo region, where he worked as a butcher. She remembered that always her Apo took her with him to the river to catch fish, and when he caught fish and threw it on the ground, she quickly collected the fishes and cleaned it. In their village, everyone went to the mountains in the beginning of spring, lived there until the end of autumn, taking with them all their animals, sheep, cows, etc. And many memories are from there. There were many edible plants in our mountains, in their mountains. They used to go and gather a lot of flowers, herbs, plants, and in the hot weather, girls used to build a swimming pool with stones, and that time there weren't any swimsuits, and so they wore long clothes and jumped into the water. Then they jumped out of the water and sat on the hot stones. One of her favorite memories from her childhood is that they used to sleep outside in the summer. She said, I was lying down listening to the poplars. I was looking at the stars and counting them while I slept.
How did she meet your grandfather, and how many children did they have?
Yeah, she tells me he was studying as a nurse with the wife of her husband's brother, and she remembers that on January 1, she went to their house to give her a lecture. At that moment, my grandfather comes home with his friend. He looks at her, at my Medz Mamas. She was reading something from the notebook, and my grandfather says, I will get married to her. And after that, they were engaged. and they only meet once before getting married. She have 3 sons. She said that my father was born in an old house. Part of the village that time is called old because there people lived in houses built of clay. Later they built new houses and moved from the old ones. And she said that Armen and I were going to build a new house with your grandfather. And after a year we finally moved.
And can you tell me about one of her most difficult memories?
Yeah, she said when it was when the Karabakh movement started in 1993, her youngest son went to army, Alik. 8 months later, we knew he went to the war as a volunteer. Then we found out that he was hurt and didn't tell us. So after then he died in the Liberty territory in 1994. It was a very difficult stories. Alik were 19 years old.
I'm so sorry to hear that. That is very difficult. Did you ask her what she feels most grateful in her life?
Yeah, before she said the happiest years were before 93. Mm-hmm. She worked in a kindergarten as a nurse. Husband, my grandfather, was a policeman. And she said that I'm grateful that I have good daughters-in-law. My sons and their families lived next to me. I'm grateful that I overcome all difficulties and now I live for the success of my grandchildren.
And what are her hopes for you?
Yeah, she said, I want to be carefree, joyful, happy, and have children.
Oh, that's sweet. And for future generations, what wisdom would she like to pass down to her?
She said that I would like that the new generation never see the suffering of the Armenian people, especially the last war.
Mm-hmm. Can you tell everyone what your Medz Mama means to you?
I want to tell to my Medz Mama that I love her very much. I wish her only happy moments, lots of health and long life.
Bravo.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sona. I love learning about your Medz Mama, and I've loved hearing her story through you.
Thank you too, Anush.
Best wishes. Hachogutun.
Hachogutun.